Welcome to this session on Euro policies, or the actual functioning of the Euro. I'm delighted to welcome two distinguished speakers here today. I have on my far right-hand side, which is not a political expression in this case, certainly not, Professor Peter Oppenheimer, who has a broad and successful career both in academia and in business. You find his CV in the accompanying documents to this summer university, so I won't go through the CV in detail, but I recommend you to read through it to see what extensive experience Professor Oppenheimer has, and I'm very glad to have you here in this discussion, and I hope we will benefit from the insights that you have. And then on my left-hand side, Thomas Meyer, who has an equally impressive career, basically in academia and financial institutions, partially also in international organizations like the IMF. I think the most prominent position Mr. Meyer has had in his career was the position of a chief economist with the German bank. He was quite frequently in the news or in the papers when he had this position, and he has, after leaving the Deutsche Bank, started to build up a think tank with Flossbach von Storch, a private asset management company. Mr. Meyer is also an economist who is known for his critical attitude toward the euro, which, as most of you know, is a currency which has developed quite differently from the way it was initially designed. I will not give much comment on this from my side. Many of you know my views on this problem anyway, but I would just like to emphasize that the euro is not operating according to the rules that were once established for the euro. Quite to the contrary, with respect to the no bailout principle and to the limits we set to the interventions of the European Central Bank, we see more or less the opposite of what was initially designed. And not only is the euro not operating according to the rules that we have initially conceived, the euro is also not operating the way we had thought it should operate, because it should have promoted growth and convergence in the eurozone. But what we witness today is that parts of the eurozone are actually not susceptible to any kind of economic growth. Rather, they suffer from stagnation and partially recession. We also do not see convergence in the European Union anymore in the sense of converging levels of per capita income, but rather we see divergence in parts of the eurozone, and in particular in the eurozone. Not so much, or even not at all, in the non-Eurozone EU countries. With these introductory remarks, I would like to give the floor to our panelists. I suggest that each of you speaks for about 15 minutes sharp, and I will try to enforce the sharpness with this plastic hammer, which I have here. I suggest that Professor Oppenheimer, as the elder of our two panelists, perhaps has the first intervention, and then followed by Mr. Meyer, and after that we will have the questions and answers slot.